to the ref. There's no doubt
inside the fighter's head.
And he's intimidating. So.
Charles Bennett has been professionally crushing chins since 1999. His nickname truly epitomizes the style and character of the fighter. Formerly known as Krazy Horse, is now called Felony. He has come a long way in the most merciless combat sport, but has never ceased to delight the public with his outrageous show-offs. And in this video, we'll walk you through a glorious path of MMA's most iconic thug.
And there's a Bennett slam.
Krazy Horse showing him his bicep. And a wicked left hook by the horse.
The hot-headed African-American, always ready to slam his opponents into oblivion and turn on the crowd while doing so, was born in the fall of 1979 in Gainesville, Florida. The second of 11 children, Charles grew up in a low-income family, so needless to say, education was not the #1 thing on his mind. Teachers wanted him to aspire to study the sciences, while Bennett was an aspiring dope pusher. After dropping out of high school, where he first exhibited a natural athleticism through playing American football, Krazy Horse plunged into the world of crime. Regularly indicted and rarely acquitted, Charles even managed to do some time in jail. But his son's birth made him reconsider his values. Finding an appetite for professional violence and a hard dollar, Bennett aimed for conquering the world of MMA. A huge fan of pro wrestling and specifically the Steiner brothers and their signature slam finishes, Krazy Horse didn't take too long to decide on his fighting style.
Known for the slams, you know, all kind of crazy, out of whack, out of sync slams.
Like a big slam.
In his debut in September of 1999, the video evidence of which has vanished forever, Charles lost by a rear naked choke. And as a result, Bennett ended up warming the bench for a year. The second, this time on tape, attempt to burst into MMA took place in August of 2000 at the WEF event.
It's called the Booyah Horse Slam. Because when I pick you up, it's like, Booyah!
20-year-old Charles was determined to wrestle his opponent Todd Carney, who was a decent striker. Todd was unable to stay on his feet, and Krazy Horse performed a couple of high-amplitude slams.
Krazy Horse. Oh, there's a slam. Krazy Horse unanswered.
Carney wasn't planning on going down easy.
He's pulling it out.
And did his best at blocking all submission attempts. Then he went into full offensive mode. But Mr. Slam Finish got him at last.
That arm, he's not gonna let it go.
Knocked out by Charles Krazy Horse Bennett.
Captured from one of the worst possible angles, we can see how Bennett decided to help his opponent with the electricity bill and turned his lights out.
Krazy Horse.
Unfortunately, very little footage remains of Charles Bennett's fights dating back to the beginning of the 2000s. However, one piece of it contains a curious bout dating back to August 2001 with a fighter and currently star trainer, Dwayne Ludwig.
So, you know, I ain't gonna try to throw him out the cage, but I'm gonna try to put him through it.
It was also Bennett's debut in the King of the Cage promotion. Charles, a bit scared to keep the fight on its feet, went for takedowns over and over again.
Down.
Oh, look at that.
While working from the top position, he managed to evade submission attempts.
Gets out.
But a lack of stamina played a role in the second round of the fight.
What do? You take him down or do you stand and trade with him? He's got sweeps. He's got a good guard. Dwayne Ludwig's on fire here.
Oh.
Big knees. Big elbow.
From that moment on, our Gangster was running out of steam.
That's what he does best. That's what
Big
I was waiting
shot.
for. Oh,
Big, he's gone.
that's it. Oh,
He's hurt.
this fight here.
Big shot to the body.
Here.
Dwayne Ludwig turning it on fire.
That's
It's
it.
over.
That's it.
Having shattered Barrett's defense, Ludwig folded him in half and equalized his career score, 3-all. In November of 2001, Charles started a brawl against Gerald Strebent with a killer slam.
Wow, Steve, to start off a big slam.
Gerald tried to test his opponent's submission defense, but Bennett didn't let it faze him.
He's got it hooked on a knee bar. Wow, kick to the face.
Getting into side control and treating his foe to a vicious knee to the body. Krazy Horse gave Strebin an idea of what it feels like being on the receiving end of body shots.
That's it. What the heck? Krazy Horse with a flip.
In the battle against William Sriapai, which took place 2 years later, Krazy Horse returned after another defeat.
Here we go, get ready for an exciting one. Krazy.
Having taken his opponent for a ride down the Charles D. Bennett Avenue,
Some crazy hand speed.
the African-American chauffeur dominated with confidence in the horizontal plane.
Looks like a big slam. Oh!
Charles Krazy Horse Bennett.
Securing a victory by unanimous decision, Bennett in February 2004 decided to return to the principle of send them to the hospital or go home. The self-proclaimed street fighter Shad Smith was announced as his next opponent.
He is in shape.
The streets I was raised on, learned how to fight. I've been in about 2,000 street fights.
Charles was not impressed with his stories.
Shad's claiming to be one of the best street fighters of all time. Show him what it's really like to be a street fighter.
A signature tease move to be marked the start of the event, followed by a vigorous exchange of
Not
shots.
sure what he was going to do. I think he was going to attempt some kind of kick up. Look at the hand speed of these two going at it, and it is over. A knockout by Charles Krazy Horse Bennett.
It's unknown what street Smith practiced his boxing technique on, but he had no chance of surviving a 40-second-long barrage of Bennett's blows. A backflip off the cage was the cherry on top.
Off the top of the cage.
4 months later, William Sriapai got a chance to get even for his flop last year and was determined to sort it out old school style.
Crazy Pony. Heard you had the pretty mouth with the gold teeth. I'd like to see that wrapped around my neck.
He failed to intimidate Krazy Horse yet again.
The gold teeth, they makes me so pretty. And at the same time, they make me a moving target too.
Keeping in mind that a blow to the jaw is the best tool of suggestion, Charles burst forward into attack. William, being the striker, was first to initiate the transition to the horizontal position.
Put the weight, there you go, put the weight down, pick your shot.
From that moment on, the fight followed a familiar pattern: takedowns combined with hard ground and pound. William held out to the end, but still ended up losing by a one-sided decision.
You want a piece of the horse again? You got it.
Boasting a 4-victory streak, Bennett came up against the future Pancrase champion Takumi Nakayama, nicknamed the Iron Man. Bennett found himself chilling on his back after the very first takedown by the Japanese superhero.
Inside leg trip by Takumi. Krazy Horse known for his powerful slams, big stick.
Attempts to kick back did not lead to anything.
With Takumi on his back and a big slam.
This time, the little hype engine that could did not chug along and went right off the rails.
Still in there, hanging on. He's tapping out. Takumi Nakayama.
Having exhaustively explained to Charles why he should surrender, Nakayama summed up the first 5-year period of the frivolous American gangster in MMA. At the time, Krazy Horse had racked up a score of 12-5 with 8 wins by knockout, thus having passed a rigorous selection of local martial arts and having made a name for himself in the sport of synchronized bludgeoning. Krazy Horse was ready to make an appearance on the international arena.
Looks like a big slam.
By a happy coincidence, an overseas promotion, Pride FC, was eyeing young lightweight talents at the time. Having received an offer to take part in the Bushido event, which is a Pride offshoot that had been launched a year prior, Bennett happily set sail for Japan.
Boss, did you get your ticket yet?
I got my ticket.
Not for this gun show, you didn't. Gomi, there's a price on your head, bro. I'm here to get it.
There in the main event, Takanori Gomi was waiting for him with an impressive record of 17-2. He was the undeniably best lightweight on the planet during the move of BJ Penn to other divisions. Charles had nothing to lose, so he was more dangerous than ever.
With him, boss, but there he is. Catches him with the right hand, Pans. Wanted to see, and Gomi misses with that.
Realizing how serious the black gaijin was, Gomi switched up his tactic in the first few minutes.
The uppercut, Gomi now with a double leg. Of course, it would help if Gomi maybe could understand what he was saying. Victory already for Bennett because he's withstood the first couple of minutes here.
But the longer the battle went on, the more willingly the Japanese fighter got involved in exchanges.
Bennett misses with a wild right. Oh, catches him there with a here between Gomi and Bennett. Ghosts him. They exchange.
After testing his American opponent's chin ability with his best shot, Takanori decided to do a little cosplay of Bennett.
With the right now, a single leg by Gomi. In fact, going for the double leg and a slam takedown.
Charles kept it together till the 6th minute. But the finish was inevitable.
Now goes downstairs.
Reverse figure four as it looks like he's going to get it.
They're going to
pull this one up.
Oh, my goodness. Unbelievable.
Although Bennett didn't even think about tapping out, the referee stopped the fight early, and the Fireball Kid got the victory.
No pain, no pain. That's why I didn't tap. My arm is so strong, you know. I've been to jail a lot.
With 2 losses in a row, Charles returned to the U.S. to lick his wounds. But a triumphant return didn't happen. Krazy Horse only ended up winning 1 out of the next 4 fights on his home soil. But although he suffered defeat, he did so in style.
What's Krazy Horse gonna do? Oh! He was down by a round. Look at that, switching. Triangle up, look, standing up, look at the straight in the back. Finishing it right there.
The long-awaited return of a slam professor to Pride FC took place at Bushido 7 in May of 2005.
Charles Krazy Horse Bennett is 25.
The undefeated Yoshiro Maeda, with 8 finishes out of 13 total wins, was known as a tough one.
Even listening to the ref.
Demonstrating the talents of a showman, Bennett managed to surprise his opponent at the start.
Gonna jump up. Oh, nice trick.
Maeda didn't appreciate the joke.
The wild right.
But knowing that the Japanese audience is so impatient that they don't even cook their fish, Krazy Horse did not stall for much longer.
Dynamite, right?
In the second minute of the fight, having turned Maeda's brain into what might have looked like Christmas mince pie, Bennett demonstrated to the public that he truly deserves his PhD in entertainment science.
But this guy's just energy personified, boss, and he's intimidating the Pride ringer.
Charles's fame finally went international as he got into good shape. Swimming on the wave of success, Krazy Horse added a couple of knockouts to his name in his alma mater, King of the Cage.
Boom! Now pass, and that's it. Attacking the arm, and huge flip back to the cage.
He was hard set on becoming a real star, but his ambitions fell apart before his very eyes. It was another series of defeats, including a 5-minute showdown over the title with Uriah Faber, who was on the rise.
Punches right away for that. Uriah tossing him around, but Krazy Horse scrambling, and he's up on his feet. Wow, Krazy Horse, but Uriah...
And another trip to the all-forgiving Japan. His rival was a spectacular grappler with a name that English commentators absolutely love him for. Doko no Jonosuke Mishima. In his usual manner, Bennett once again was going to demonstrate how well you can learn to brawl in the hood.
I do a lot of jacking off, you know, because I don't get no women. So these arms are like humongously big, you know what I'm talking about? Jacking off is the best exercise you can have. There's pleasure and there's workout.
But having entertained the crowd before the fight, Charles realized that he was facing a tough opponent.
Is that a mouthpiece or are those his teeth?
I think.
And now Bennett encouraging the crowd to cheer for his fighter.
Doing the same thing.
And even more so in battle.
Look at that uppercut by Bennett, and it tags Mishima.
The end of the fight. Look at this scramble here.
Scramble by Bennett, and there's a Bennett slam. Oh,
Right to climb on his back. Pulling gets the heel hook. You push. Yes!
And Bennett down.
At this moment, he knew that he'd f***ed up and tapped out. Charles, who had recently turned 26, received a chance to redeem himself at the Pride 2005 New Year's event. This time, he was taking on a debutante, Ken Kaneko, a TV personality and actor of the Land of the Rising Sun. As Bennett said himself about this fight, he didn't even have to take his gun out. They handed him the dough without a squeak, and Benjamin's only.
I can't get over how crazy Charles, he is amazing.
In the ring, Krazy Horse had a real show.
Now goes in for the double.
Serious right now, this is a little bit too much now that the fight's already started.
Opportunity. Who struck nice takedown there by
Not forgetting to hammer his opponent's head in the intermission.
And right now he's absorbing some fists, do damage, and again. Inverted armbar here now by Charles Bennett, and Kaneko is close to tap.
Maintaining a playful mood, Charles not only received a yellow card from the referee that cost him a percentage of his fee, but also took part in the most infamous behind-the-scenes brawl in MMA. After the bout, Bennett found himself in the same dressing room with the Brazilian corner man of his recent opponent, Cristiano Marcelo, who worked as a BJJ coach for the legendary shootbox team. They threw hands, but a scuffle ending in a triangle choke did not cool Krazy Horse. Waking up and activating thug mode, Charles knocked out Wanderlei Silva, who had happened to be there, with a sucker punch. At the same time, Krazy Horse managed to get away from the enraged Brazilian team, which may have actually saved his life. This tussle led to a big score a decade later.
Virou na crocodilagem, me deu soco, ele me nocauteou, cara. Caralho. Aí eu saí correndo atrás do cara no vestiário, o cara foi embora.
But we'll get back to that. Thus, having 11 official fights in 2005 and knocking out Wanderlei behind the scenes, Bennett set a career record.
Here he goes, up on top of the ring.
Charles was back at it, losing the next 3 fights by submission.
Big right hand throw by Buddy Clinton right off the bat, and now he's in a rear naked choke. And that's it.
The defeats didn't stop him from being the center of attention, though.
He's that agile, he can't even go.
Look at a little trade. Oh! Another slam. That's it, he's down.
However, after losing to Kawajiri, a top fighter in Pride, Charles stopped receiving invitations to go to Japan. For a short time, this brought him to his senses, and at the turn of 2006 and going into 2007, the American pulled off his last big winning streak of his career. A special sensation was the matchup with KJ Noons in February of 2007. The Hawaiian's 3 MMA appearances seemed like a drop in the bucket against Bennett's 18 victories in 34 appearances. But the reputation of the former pro boxer spoke for him. Spectators were looking forward to an explosive fight at the debut event of newborn promotion Elite XC.
Round 1 is underway.
Testing Bennett out with his kicks,
Knocking out the previously undefeated.
Rob Kaman's also been training KJ.
KJ overestimated himself and almost immediately paid the price for it.
And what goes on inside a fighter's head?
Oh, an efficient right hand by Charles Bennett.
Unbelievable.
Mississippi, it is a knockout to kick off destiny. What a fight by Bennett.
As if trying to prove that his chin had some metal reinforcement from Stark Industries, Charles rocked Noons in a wild exchange with his signature right hook.
Hold on, right now. Boom, I faked him. Oh, shit. Whoa, that was, whoa.
But he didn't realize at the time that it was the swan song of his career.
Bennett.
Hey, that's me.
Having prematurely plunged into a midlife crisis after 30, as well as suffering his 22nd career defeat in 2011, Krazy Horse, by his own admission, acknowledged that you actually need to prepare before fights. But moving to a better suited for him featherweight division, switching nickname to Felony, and changing teams couldn't help him. From August 2007 to May 2016, Charles would earn a negative record of 8-16.
He got dropped by Bobby Green.
Though gangster jitsu would sometimes work as well,
Did a pretty good job.
as his heavy hands.
Don't want to be with Krazy Horse. Krazy Horse showed him his bicep. And a wicked left hook by the horse. Knocks that knock out.
And Bennett did well in the clash with Eric Moon on August of 2009. For Moon, this was only his second professional appearance, but his powerful jab made Charles work hard for every cent of his fee.
Eric Moon picking away here. Oh, knocks out the mouthpiece of
Eric successfully controlled the first minutes of the fight.
Eric Moon going in for the takedown and will get the slam.
But recklessness with the horse inevitably leads to being sent to the canvas.
Moon's got some major hand speed and gets caught there with the left, and a huge left delivered by Krazy Horse to end this fight. And Krazy Horse is back in full effect.
As soon as Charles landed his right hook, Moon started seeing the stars, and there was no Houston to report a problem to.
Krazy Horse to end this fight.
However, a careless attitude towards training and continuous evolution of the sport, especially grappling, made Bennett's natural talent irrelevant.
Wisconsin, Jimmy Daywalker.
Nevertheless, in 2016, he received an unexpected offer. The Japanese-based MMA organization Rizin sent Charles an invitation for his past merits. The fourth event of a new promotion launched a year ago by the creators of Pride made Charles once again present himself in Japan. They set Bennett up with Minoru Kimura. The Brazilian knockout artist, who had never competed in MMA before, was famous for his achievements in kickboxing. But more importantly, he was considered a protege of Wanderlei Silva, who Charles had also crossed paths with before the fight.
You know that. I knocked you out. I slapped you.
Krazy Horse immediately got carried away.
Who needs an old axe?
There was no room for intrigue in a 7-second brawl.
I am stoked for this fight.
Oh! Look at the right there. In the front of the arm. That's it. The fight is over. Here's the Bennett. He's going after
Like a real chess pro, Charles pulled off a lightning-fast fool's mate, intercepting Kimura's flying knee, and almost danced on his head. Bennett did not miss the opportunity to have a go at Wanderlei Silva.
Candy lay, but 300K. And other than that, I'm a nigger, and I run fast.
Drowning the crowd in tears of nostalgia, at the end of the day, Krazy Horse buried the hatchet of made-up war because the fight with Silva never happened. Despite the resounding success of the fight against Kimura, as of April 2022, this victory remains the last for Bennett. Having lost 13 fights in a row over the next 5 years, he brought his score in mixed martial arts to 30 victories with 43 defeats and a couple of draws.
Beautiful right hand, Roddy, to find it. That's what happens with these free-form fighters like this. Oh!
But that's not all. As the saying goes, every pilgrim reaches the end of his journey. In 2018, the 38-year-old Charles tried to dilute a losing streak with a bare-knuckle boxing match, although he was far from his optimal form, and was unable to utilize his main strength.
Because I sort of kind of broke the right hand.
How did you break your hands?
Jacking off.
One. Black and red.
But without fear, entering the ring and starting to fire all weapons, Bennett gave everything he could in the fight with Michael McDonald until his fists were unable to continue.
Shoulder from Bennett, stepping in. Good favor of McDonald. Left hand from Bennett and takes the knee again. Fighting that scene as an upset, Michael McDonald will be the...
Having let his knuckles heal, Krazy Horse, towards the close of 2019, again decided to test his luck in a fist fight. He was opposed by a participant of the Ultimate Fighter, who was considered a striker, Johnny Bedford.
Scratch the bell in round number 1.
In the ring, Bedford initiated the attacks, forcing Bennett to counter.
The chin didn't fully land. Turnham landed with the right hand of Bedford.
Really aimed that, and he's not even really throwing it too much.
Johnny dominated the end of the first round.
And that's the end of round number 1.
In the second, Krazy Horse was a bit more successful.
He's creating openings right there.
That right hand and down. That right hand gets through, and that uppercut lands.
But having lost his striking arm, Charles only delayed the inevitable.
Straight left. Good right hand, and he threw another right hand in the left. Big shots, clipping right.
Looks like he's going to say his hand is hurt once again.
Having celebrated his 40th birthday and remembering the saying, "No pain, no gain," Bennett returned into the ring a year later against Tyler Goodjohn. The result was also disappointing.
I think it's been a while since he's actually taken a
Clear right uppercut from Bennett, threw it around over his right eye in the brow. Eats that right.
One of them's just broken, you know, that's just the way.
El Tornado!
In this video, we went over the rise and fall of the hothead American gangster who fought wherever they paid, but never lost his own individuality. And while others wandered aimlessly across MMA in search of the best, Bennett swept through it all at a galloping pace. He will always be remembered as the bright spot of a long-gone era with his classic thug jitsu style.
Inside a fighter's head.
A pretty good job.
Crazy Horse showing his